Just because he shakes doesn't mean his little girl still doesn't stir. Rasheda Ali, proving every bit the chip off the champ's block, relentlessly fighting the Parkinson's disease that riddles her dad's once magnificent body and so many others. And today, what just could be a late-round shocker. Rasheda sits on the advisory board of an Israeli biotech company called Brainstorm. And if early trials are any indication, some neurological diseases could be going down for the count. Rasheda Ali is here. Very, very quick disclosure here. I have multiple sclerosis. It's one of those neurological diseases Brainstorm is targeting. I don't say that for your sympathy. I say that so that Rasheda doesn't hit me. I ask her tough questions. Rasheda, good to see you. Welcome
well, it depends on how hard the questions are.
I'll be good.
We'll see about that.
I'll be good. This is the first potential sign of hope, more for what is known as ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yes.
The most severe of all neurological diseases. Explain.
It's unfortunate. ALS obviously is a neurodegenerative disease. From the moment that you're diagnosed, unfortunately, most people, the life expectancy is 3 to 5 years. So, of course, our clinical trials are focused on people who have ALS. It's very, very devastating for patients and their families. So we're focusing on this disease first.
So there's a wide family of neurological diseases, like your dad's.
Yes.
Parkinson's, and we mentioned MS, and we mentioned ALS, so many others. There is a sort of a common link they're finding, right?
You know, it is really interesting when you look at that movement disorders in general. Anything neurological, you really don't know the biomarkers. It's so subjective. You just never know. But I just got back from the University of Florida movement disorder, and they said it so eloquently, and the reason why I say that is because we were talking about Parkinson's and genetics and things like that. And I think about that because my dad has Parkinson's, and my kids think about it. You know, are we going to get Parkinson's? Well, the truth of the matter is, with any of these movement disorders, and they said it this way, genetics holds the gun, and the environment pulls the trigger. So my dad could have had the genetic makeup to have Parkinson's, and then boxing set it off for him.
How old were you when he was diagnosed?
12, 13.
That had to be really tough.
It was hard because we did not, never heard of anything so bizarre before. And then my stepmom obviously was married to my dad at the time, and she tried to explain this very complex condition to us. And we didn't know what to expect. We kind of all, at that time in the 80s, I mean, we had nothing. I mean, there were no resources, there were no clinics, there were no biotech companies like there are now.
Did your dad appreciate at the time what he had?
I think he was scared. I think we all are. When we are diagnosed with something that has no cure, first of all, and we don't even know what it is, and what to expect for the future for a lot of people, millions of people. I mean, us here at Brainstorm Cell Therapeutics, we're trying to get those answers for millions of people.
You know what I admire, and I'm not blowing you smoke or trying to prevent you from hitting me.
Okay.
But the one thing I admire about you, and especially your dad, a lot of Parkinson's patients are very embarrassed to go out in public. The shaking, very few have this sort of stick-to-itiveness of Michael J. Fox or your dad to come out, accept me the way I am. It doesn't change who I am.
Well, a lot of people, Neil, they try to work as long as they can with this debilitating condition, and they try not to tell people because it does interrupt their source of income. And even my dad was a little shy when he was diagnosed because he has one of the symptoms, of course Parkinson's symptoms are very subjective, but one of his symptoms was slurred speech.
Right.
So,
and here he was so famous.
He was so famous for
to talk.
For his big mouth.
Right,
that's what he was known for, and then all of a sudden he's getting, a little bit quieter and quieter. It's hard to deal with it.
Well, you are nonstop in helping him, and I think you even acknowledged one time it might be too late to address things for my dad. But I don't want to see, how did you put it? I don't want to see others have to deal with this.
The thing is, my dad is so famous, and he uses his name to help causes like this. I take advantage of my last name because I want to help. A lot of people out there who have MS and Parkinson's and ALS, and they don't have a voice. they're not so fortunate. So I'm their voice. I want to help them because, and I thank you, Neil, for having me on to talk about this because people really need to know that there are resources out there.
Do you ever get frustrated that with so many of these neurological diseases, the best they could tell you is, well, we could stave off its progression?
You know what? It's kind of annoying, but here's the deal. These clinical trials that we're doing is major for us. I mean, we've been in preclinical trials here at Brainstorm for years. And that is a milestone, but going from preclinical to clinical is major for us and for people who have ALS. We're talking 24 patients that we're trying. Now, this is what we're trying to do, is we're trying to conduct, because obviously we're doing it in Hadassah in Israel. Professor Carusis and Brainstorm's Professor Melamed is using, and the team of neurologists are using their skills to try to inject these patients with ALS with their own stem cells.
So their own body.
Their own body fights it. And it's a very mechanical, it's the neuron patented process, and they differentiate and they manipulate these cells and put them back in, and we watch and monitor the patients for 4 to 6 months, and it's a huge process.
It's promising.
But really, it's promising. It's the step in the right direction. We're getting there. That's the thing.
Do your dad and so many others proud, kiddo.
Thank you, Neil.
I didn't know. I had no idea your dad was a talker. I had no idea.
You know what? I thought maybe you thought he was quiet or something.
Yeah, I noticed.
He wasn't always that quiet.
Yeah, I never spoke much when he was boxing.
I know, he's too quiet.
Rasheda Ali, thank you very, very much.